We are Team Zero Carbon, and we present a rewards program for e-commerce shipping by freight train. The issue we want to solve is known to everybody. Road transportation of goods has a negative impact on environment, and we want to switch to freight train. People are not aware of this. Basically, freight train transportation is 6 times less harmful than road transportation, and also the shippers and the freight operators don't have the proper digitalization in place to do the proper planning and scheduling in the whole chain of distribution. Our solution is carbon neutral because we divert e-commerce from road to freight train, and in the same time optimize for low carbon and low price. It's a win-win for everybody. We give incentives. We actually pay customers, sellers, and shipper, and also freight train operators to use our solution, and of course to be carbon neutral. And of course our solution is basically the integration across the whole distribution chain, as we will show in a moment. There are many opportunities. Amazon pledged that by 2030, 50% of all shipments will be net zero carbon, and DHL wants to increase by 2025 the transportation means to rail. That's gonna be huge in my view. We actually created a mock-up, a demo. We cloned Amazon store, and we show how our product will look like for the end user. So the user picks several products and then has the option to choose zero carbon shipping. It can apply immediately the discount, or it can earn points that can be used later on subsequent orders. The system it's fully integrated across the chain. So the customer puts some goods in the basket, and the seller knows the size of the goods. It contacts automatically the shipper, that again contacts automatically the freight operator. It schedules a route. Everything is prepared and optimized for carbon, to lower the carbon footprint and also lower the price. The only downside of this approach would be that when choosing zero carbon, the goods would be delivered a bit later. But we try to give preference to rail transportation and to lower costs. We do some kind of eco arbitrage. I mean, we extract the difference between the road transportation and the rail transportation, and then we distribute this amount of money. Nowadays, we did also a research, and the road prices are between €1 and €1 per kilometer. Rail prices are generally 10-15 times less than road prices. We also know that we need some distance, like more than 400 kilometers, and the quality to be a bit high to be able to extract this difference, but it's possible. Last mile delivery we can do with e-cars, or we can charge with biodiesel. Again, the incentive distribution is very clear. 50% goes to end customer, 20% to seller, 30% to shipper. We have here a calculation we did yesterday with 5 tons of goods, and when in the first case, when we do the difference between first offer of road, the end user gets 2 cents. In this case, the shipper €21, seller 14, and so on. But again, we can still optimize, and we have some interesting results, and the proof of concept works for us. Again, in the checkout screen, the user can get the discounts or apply later. We will deliver a web interface, a cloud platform, and calculators and planners. The business model is B2B2C. I mean, we will offer the platform to shippers, and we help them integrate with sellers and freight operators. The seller will use it with the end customers, or we will offer it business to business. The platform can also be sold to businesses that aim to reduce the carbon footprint. And as for scalability, we aim to partner with Amazon and DHL first, and then release the platform to general availability. As revenue streams, we aim for a subscription-based model, and 100% of the transactions that happen will go to zero carbon. Our team has a lot of experience in artificial intelligence and cloud platforms. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zero Carbon. Now it's time for the jury. You have 3 minutes, so raise hand if you have a question, jury. Yes, Christian, please.
Yeah, thank you, Andre. Very exciting. Of course, you're relying on customers wanting to pay a bit more, perhaps, and wait a little bit later. How precisely can you estimate the later arrival, since rail is often less predictable than road and trucks for delivery? And also, you mentioned or showed us an example of Amazon, where, of course, it's the end consumer who is then saying, I want to be green, so I can wait. But what rewards for the businesses who would be users here? Normally they look at the bottom line. How can they be incentivized to pay a bit more and wait a little bit longer if you're talking about a production chain? What incentive for that? Thanks.
We basically try not to force users to pay a bit. We pay the users actually. So this amount of money we want to give to the end user. So this is applied as discount versus the normal scenario. So we really want to pay users, shippers and sellers by looking at differences in prices and taking this difference. This is called arbitrage on the stock market. And we do the same with this system. And the other question was, sorry, once again?
Yes, when you are an Amazon client, yes. I myself, if I go there, I see immediately what you showed, the price difference, etc. And I, with my conscience, can say I'm ready to pay or wait a little bit more.
Yes.
But if you are a producer, if you are a company that you are simply looking at the bottom line, you're looking at profit and timeliness. What incentives do companies have to use this?
Companies will have less incentives to use that in B2B, but when it comes to the customers, if customers will say, I want to wait, okay, it's not a problem. It will come like in 1 week plus. But in B2B, there are these programs. They want to be 100% carbon free that I looked on. So I looked at DHL. They want to increase the rail transport by 20%. And what we can do, we can provide a better planning. We can provide a better planner, a better scheduler, so that we don't incur so much delays, because I think in that case would be these delays. The train price, again, is 10-15% less in the ideal case. And if we load the last mile with biodiesel or we use electric cars, then we can, again, cut the carbon footprint more, I think. But in business to business, it's true. It's a bit harder to convince the customer that they really have a huge advantage in that. I agree. But there's still room to convince them. And with better planners, that would be one strategy.